Hey guys, so I'm just gonna do kind of a holistic overview of the Oura Ring app. I know this group is for the Evie ring. I just know that there's a lot of talk about what's best for them in terms of wearables and stuff like that. So I used to have the Oura Ring when Gen 3 first came out in 2020, and I did love it. It is bulky, but I love it. And so if you didn't see my unboxing video, I did just get the size 7 or 8, excuse me, of the rose gold Oura Ring, and I'm still awaiting my silver size 8 Evie ring. And so yeah, so let's just dive in. So we go here. So every time you open the app, it updates. And it obviously starts on the home screen. And typically, from what I remember, in the mornings specifically, it'll give you a breakdown of your readiness score and your sleep score. And I can't remember if there's a third one, but that is super insightful information. And one thing that I love specifically about the readiness score is that that's kind of what motivates me and makes me think, like, okay, like, what did I do yesterday that caused this? Or, you know, it's just, I don't know, just don't obsess over it, because I did in the beginning. And yeah, so healthy habits, guys. And so if you see here, it's just showing my activity goal, and you can click on that, and it gives you kind of a brief overview of everything. I clearly have not done any of this today. This is from like shipping, I guess. It took a couple steps to get here. The cool thing is you can edit your activity goal, and since I live in a tiny home on wheels, the kitchen is 10 steps away, the bathroom is 20 steps away, and it's been raining here a lot, so I did make my step goal to be quite low. And you can also change it to how many calories you want to burn per day. I prefer steps because I would like to be more active, so that's really nice that you can customize that. And then if you actually toggle to the activity portion on the bottom, it gives you even more of a breakdown. And what's cool is once you've worn this, you know, for X amount of days, you'll start seeing them compared next to each other, and you can easily toggle to other days. What I also really like about this app in particular is that you basically have unlimited resources to understand what's being displayed for you. So if you can basically click into anything that you see, and it'll give you just some nice and important literature to keep you informed on what it's tracking exactly, and health benefits and all that good stuff. So that's something I really like to keep an eye on. And then if you toggle to sleep, I literally cannot wait to see this eventually. This was really an important part of why I got the Oura Ring to begin with, because I would always wake up feeling extremely groggy, and I learned that I was actually only getting about 30 minutes of REM sleep on average in an 8-hour sleep period, which is really low, and I would always wake up in the middle of REM sleep, so my body wasn't going through the sleep phases as it should to get the amount of rest and like revitalizing that it should. So I was actually able to bring my sleep data to my doctor and, you know, tell them what's going on and show them and get some really good advice from a professional, because sleep is so underrated. Let's see what else. And then for readiness, this is really important as well. This is where you'll see your body temperature, how much it fluctuates. you'll get an overall score, and again, you can compare it to previous days, weeks, months, and the year. I like that you can add tags, and I did notice that they added more. I looked at their updates and they did add more tags. So, you know, you can just browse through these. There's a lot here. And what I like about using these is that you can actually get a better idea of why you might be feeling a certain way and just like learn your body better, which I think is really important, especially because it's the new year and everyone wants to be the new them. So myself, actually, I shouldn't speak for anyone else. New year, new me. Okay. So that is why I'm really looking forward to using a wearable again, because whether it be Evie or Oura, I just think there's invaluable insights here that I just can't pass up any longer. So back home, if we toggle to the little hamburger icon on the top left, you can go to your profile where you can set your weight, your height, that kind of thing. There's trends, which is always fun to look at. You can actually get reports and have them downloaded. Circles is the new, I believe, community where you create, you know, your own little icon, and I guess you can share it with people. I'm not really sure how this works yet. Rest mode is another thing I wanted to touch on because I don't want this video to be too long, but basically if you're struggling from an illness or you have COVID, or like it says, jet lag, or whatever the case is, if you don't want your app yelling at you and saying like, maybe it's time to stretch your legs a bit, you kind of let the app know that you're in recovery mode, and it'll even like prompt certain things like a good way to rest your body is this, or it kind of give you important insights on stuff. So I just like that it has this option because we are human. We will have rest days, whether you're hungover or you just had a major surgery. I think that this is a really cool feature. And I haven't looked into blood oxygen sensing yet, so I'm not going to speak to that. And one thing I did note in a comment to somebody who recently posted in the Evie Ring group was regarding needing to have your phone close by with you at all times to ensure that it records your data. And I did read that for Oura, you don't have to have it near you. It's just that, you know, when you come back into Bluetooth range, it will automatically sync to the app. And there's also a feature called airplane mode, which is where you'll be able to, I think you can turn it off for 7 days. And then when you come back to your phone or turn your ring back on, so to speak, it will automatically sync your data again. Another thing to note, if you are doing a workout where you're running a distance or you want, I don't know, geographical insights, you want to turn your location settings on, and you need to have your phone with you for that if you want to track that kind of thing. Also, what's really amazing that I didn't have before is that there's a Find My Ring app, which is super awesome. I already have set this up, but basically this app is just for you to set up your Find My kind of situation. It was actually created by this girl's husband. It says, disclaimer, this app is in no way related to Oura and is simply the result of living with a wife who often loses her Oura Ring and blames the poor robotic vacuumer. That being said, this app has, under real world conditions, proven that my wife is always right. So I think this is really sweet. And so far, I have been checking it out. It's really nice. So once you set it up in the app, you can go back to your Oura Ring app and see how it's updating. And then if you go to the top right, this will also show you the battery percentage, not the percentage, but the circle will start to get less of a circle, if that makes sense, when your battery's running out. So it's at 100% now, and if you click on that, there's the airplane mode, and then you can click show latest location, and it'll actually show you where the last known location was, and it'll take you to your maps on Apple, which I'm not going to open because then you'll all know where I live. And then another thing on the bottom right, we toggle to resilience. This is something that I have not yet looked into, other than the basics of the fact that it can kind of track your stress levels. It does appear to be pretty accurate. I've seen, according to a lot of users sharing on, you know, Reddit or the Oura Ring Facebook group, it appears to be really accurate, and so I think that that's a really cool new feature as well. So let's see what else. Cycle insights. I do want to elaborate on this soon, and I'll compare it to Evie. Obviously, I'm going to compare all of this to Evie. It looks like I already have the ability to share my referral link for anyone interested. And then there's also a cool feature of meditation. I forget how to get to that. Explore. So you have meditations, guided breathing, a lot of great stuff for sleep. I recently got a 50% off discount for the annual subscription of the Calm app, so I've actually been utilizing that. I have tried these in the past, and they were very calming and peaceful, and it does track all of those things that you do in the app, so it's really cool to just have a visual of how you're taking care of yourself and stuff like that. So this is cool too. You can actually measure your heart rate in real time, and then also see the trends. I haven't done this yet since I got the ring. I don't know how it's gonna... Okay, cool. So I do think this is pretty accurate, because when I first got it, I was comparing it to the heart rate app that you see on the screen, and I really don't want this to be too long, so I am sorry again, but I have all the time in the world right now, and so if I can be helpful to anyone else, I'm all for it. So they now have the option to add widgets to your home screen. So far it appears that they only relate to sleep, so I added just these 3. I think there's another one that's massive, and I didn't want to take up the whole screen. So the one on the far right is going to be a recommended bedtime, and then it will be showing sleep stage data when it becomes available. I do love widgets, so this is a big perk for me worth mentioning. And yeah, I think that that's all. This little plus button is important, so I guess that's not all. Sorry, I'm not an influencer, you guys. So you can log your period. It takes you to a calendar. Unguided sessions, so if you're doing yoga or meditation, you can add that. Adding tags is great. I remember I've been sober for a 1.5 years or so, and I remember I would always tag my hangovers, because then I could see like how much it's affecting my readiness scores. I would have the worst readiness scores after drinking, and then I'd get so much good sleep, and it was just a horrible cycle. So it's just really interesting to be able to see that in real time kind of unfold. So you can add a workout. This is what it shows you as like the presets: start time, duration, intensity. I haven't looked into this too much yet since just getting the ring today, because I'm not working out today. Yeah, so just getting a little insight here, scanning, so that's cool. And I know that if you start working out, it'll usually notify you to log something, it'll be like, are you working out right now? Or I don't know if it still does that, but from past experience it did. I really liked that because if I forgot to log it, I wouldn't bother. I would just be like, oh well, shoot. So if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and ask. And yeah, I think that's good. I'm going to try and do the same thing with the Evie ring. I still have high hopes for it. I'm just obviously familiar with Oura, and I can easily be an advocate given my positive experience. So with that, I will end this screen recording and post it in our group.